When I first met this woman, I saw Rose and I latched on to her. I told her, baby, I don't want to marry. I just want to be your man. Rose told me.
I told him if he wasn't a mankind, and move out the way so the mankind could find me.
That's what she told me. You're in my way, you're blocking the view, move out the way so I can find me a husband. Where Corey? I want him to help me with this fence.
He got recruited by a college football team.
It ain't gonna get him nowhere.
If he be like you in the sports, he gonna be all right. Ain't but 2 men ever played baseball good as you.
And what'd it ever get me? I ain't got a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of.
Hey, Pop, can I ask you a question? How come you ain't never liked me?
What law is there say I got to like you? A man is supposed to take care of his family. You live in my house, fill your belly with my food, put your behind on my bed because you're my son. Now, don't you go through life worrying about whether somebody like you or not. You best be making sure they're doing right by you.
Corey just trying to fill out your shoes.
I don't want him to be like me. I want him to get as far away from my life as he possibly can get. You the only decent thing ever happened to me, Rose.
You can't be nobody but who you are, Troy. That's all you got to measure yourself against the world out there.
Rose, I got something to tell you. I don't know how to tell you this.
Why, Troy? Why?
You ought to know it's time.
I don't want to know, damn it!
What you ever give me?
Your feet, them bones, that pumping heart.
You never done nothing but hold me back, afraid I was gonna be better than you.
Everything that boy do, he do for you.
It's not easy for me to admit that I've been standing in the same place for 18 years.
Well, I've been standing with you. I got a life, too. Don't you think I had dreams and hopes? What about my life? What about me?
What are you gonna do?
Some people build fences to keep people out, and other people build fences to keep people in.
Mykelti Williamson, everybody. One more time. Give it up. Yeah, thank you so much for being here.
It's great to be with you, Ricky.
Congratulations. You guys brought fences to the cinema. It's been sort of a long process getting it there, hasn't it?
It has been. It's a privilege. It's August Wilson, Denzel Washington, Viola Davis.
You.
Well, yeah, you could say Mykelti Williamson too, but you know, we have such an amazing privilege to come back. We've been on Broadway together doing this same project. We did it with the feature film in mind. We knew we had August Wilson's script, and it was a good workout for us to lead up to making the movie. We wanted to know the material from the inside out. We knew we were going to have Denzel's leadership, and it was great. It's been a great journey. I hope everybody really enjoys the film as much as we enjoyed making it.
Absolutely. I watched it last night. It's beautiful. You all do an incredible job, and the words of August Wilson are just so unbelievable. Some of the greatest writing I think you could ever watch actors perform. Take me back to when you first got to do an August Wilson play.
It was here on Broadway. I actually auditioned in Los Angeles. And the reason I auditioned, most of actors at our level don't audition unless it's a special circumstance. A director who's not familiar, or a director in Denzel's position who knows everybody. And the only way to be fair is to have everybody jump through the ring of fire. You can't just start picking people because it's unfair. So Denzel had...
And this was for the play.
This was for the play. So Denzel and Kenny Leon, our director at the time, had us jump through the ring of fire. I thought it was the worst audition of my career. Literally, I was depressed. I went home that afternoon, got to bed, didn't have dinner, stayed in the bed. Next morning, no breakfast, still in the bed. No lunch, Saturday, still in the bed. Saturday evening, I get up to go meet my agent. And she said, "What is the matter? What's going on?" I told her, I said, "Listen, I just sucked. I couldn't believe I was so bad in this Fences audition." She said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "It was the worst audition of my life. I wish I was at home in the bed now."
Well, can we be honest? I mean, the kind of character that you're playing, that is probably the hardest kind of audition that you could do.
Well, if you're an actor, you should be able to pull it off. And so she told me, she said, "They loved you." I said, "Stop playing." She said, "No." She looked at her phone and she says, "Look, we're doing the deal." I was like, "Well, why didn't you tell me that yesterday?" I was in the bed for 2 days, like just kind of abusing myself, because I didn't step up. But for some reason, they thought they saw what they needed, and then the rest was history, you know?
That's unbelievable. So you get on stage. Is it difficult performing an August Wilson play? I mean, the dialogue is dense, and for your character, it's much different than for Denzel or Viola, whose dialogue, while dense, also follows a very clear sort of chronology and rhythm. Your character, because of his mental state, is a little all over the map all the time, but is at the same time given incredibly lyrical monologues.
Right. Well, I wouldn't define August Wilson's material as difficult to wrap your head around. It's challenging. There's so many opportunities there. You could miss several of the opportunities if you don't pay attention to the text. If you don't pay attention to the spirit of the piece, it's got its own rhythm, like jazz, blues, it's all built in. Like, for example, in the movie, the first 46, 48 minutes, there's actually no music.
Oh, yeah.
And people think, someone said, I was sitting with Denzel the other day, and someone said, they asked him a question about the music in the beginning of the movie and why he brought the music in. And so he says, he listened, and we knew better, and so he kind of let the guy hang himself, man. It's really funny.
No.
But then he said, well, to be honest with you, there's no music in the movie for the first 46 minutes, sir. He says, by design. And the guy was like, thank you, Mr. Washington, and had a seat, you know? It's really funny.
So he clearly had not seen the movie.
Well, he had seen the movie, but
just
as a
on-
testament to August Wilson's writing, it's lyrical, it's poetic, it's the banter, it has its own music to it. There's a rhythm, there's an August Wilson rhythm that once you see his material and begin to practice it, you finally get it. It's all rhythmic. It's amazing, and that's what the man was listening to.
Now, it seems like because the four of you had participated in the 2010 revival, that all of you were sort of on the exact same page about what you wanted to do with the film, which to me struck me as the sort of first and foremost priority for all of you was a sort of homage to the text, making sure that the text was first.
Absolutely, and then for those of the audience who don't know which the four of you are, it's Denzel. That's okay. It's Denzel. I want everybody to be able to keep up. It's Denzel Washington, Viola Davis, Stephen McKinley Henderson, Russell Hornsby, and I'm the fifth musketeer, Mykelti Williamson. So we were the original Broadway revival players. Jovan Adepo and Sanaya Sidney joined us because the actors who did those roles on Broadway have outgrown those roles. But that's the only adjustments we made.
Was there any talk of trying to sort of rewriting the play at all to sort of do something different for the film, or was it like, no, we stick to August Wilson's plays, and he had a draft already for a screenplay, right?
Absolutely. What you see is August Wilson's screenplay. Of course, there's always talk of, is it cinema? Is it cinema? But it's life. It's real life, so it's cinema. That's, Denzel answered the question. He said, well, is it real life? He said, yeah, well, then it's cinema. We just have to figure out, the pacing and what to do with that. But it's already cinema.
Now, how is Denzel as a director, and how do you guys operate in directing? I mean, I would imagine you direct each other a little bit, or at least yourself, because you guys all sort of played these parts 6 years ago.
Right, well, Denzel is an amazing human being. He's amazing on every level. As an actor, it goes without question.
Wildly charismatic.
Yeah, but he's always truthful. And sometimes people can't handle the truth. That's the beauty of a Denzel or Samuel L. Jackson, is they're the truth all the time. And the beauty of Denzel and his direction, here's the difference between Denzel and all the other A-list directors I've ever worked with. Denzel directs you with his heart. He directs you with his intelligence. And he inspires you with his intelligence and his creativity. So you're willing to go. The reason he handpicked us was because you really don't have to tell us what to do. Right. When we show up on the set, if you start directing us once we get there, you're already too late, because we don't come to work and wait to be told what to do. We know they're investors, and so we have a huge responsibility, especially when you're making the kind of money we make, to show up every single time and hit a home run. So D surrounded himself with people he could trust, because we know that this represents a new chapter in Denzel Washington's life. This is the giving back chapter in Denzel's life.
Why would you say it's the giving back chapter?
Well, because he says so. He understands that to whom much is given, much is required. He's been a giver all of his life, but now he can give back from a much larger platform, and he's aware of it. And so when he calls on us to have his back, we had his back and his front. And that's really what it was, man. It's all relationship based, you know?
Is part of the giving back that you're talking about sort of making sure that future generations know who August Wilson is? And
It's
know his
that,
words?
but it's also not just making sure that the world at large is aware of August Wilson's work, but it's to employ the people to do the jobs, the technicians, right? The other craftsmen, the people in front of the camera. It's all of that. That is a huge undertaking and a tremendous responsibility, and Denzel has taken it upon himself to lead that charge. It's a huge, huge, huge homage to August Wilson, and I'm really proud of Denzel for doing that. That's tremendous.
Now, I have to bring it up while I have you here. One of the roles that you're probably most famous for is Bubba from Forrest Gump.
Bubba Blue. Some people say Bubba Gump, but they don't know what they're talking
I did
about.
not say Bubba Gump. I said Bubba.
Yeah, Bubba Blue. I mean, Forrest's last name was Gump, right?
Right.
So I couldn't be Bubba Gump.
I know. What's interesting, as I was saying that, Bubba Gump came into my head, and I was
I'm
like,
so
and
glad I
part of mine
saved you, brother.
No, before you even said it, part of my brain was like, that's not his last name. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Right.
I gotta ask, do you see any royalties from Bubba Gump Shrimp Co.?
Not the shrimp company. I've actually never been to that place in my life, ever. I mean, I've never been, you know, and that's not good or bad. It is what it is. But I still receive payments from Forrest Gump. Yeah, they pop up in the mail like every week or so, you know. So keep watching. It's all good.
Keep on marathoning on TBS,
Yeah, man.
everybody.
I got 2 more college tuitions to get through, so let's get it.
When you signed up to do, in 2010, to do Fences, was there any part of you that was hesitant, even though it's August Wilson, but because of your portrayal of Bubba playing another sort of slow man?
No, because it's not the same thing. Listen, I'm a character actor. I'm actually a world-class actor like everybody else, but I don't mind, I'm not opposed to humbling myself and coming to help you elevate. That's what a supporting actor does. I'm both. I'm an actor's actor, but I'm also a supporting actor. If I see a friend of mine that needs elevation and is not afraid of having somebody on set with him that'll push him, I'll show up and give you every single thing I can, because that's my responsibility. Especially if you reach out for me and say, Mykelti, man, I need you, would you do this? Yeah, absolutely, I got you. And that's what it is, you know?
You've worked with one of my favorite directors multiple times, Michael Mann. I believe you were in the Miami Vice pilot, right?
That's correct. That's right.
And then you were also in Heat as well. You played Al Pacino's one of his partners.
Right.
Heat is, in my opinion, you know, the top 3 masterpieces of the 90s. It's an unbelievable film. What was it like working with Michael Mann on that film? I've heard that he shoots everything all the time, and it's just sort of always like, give me a helicopter, I want to shoot it now.
Listen, if it were martial arts, we would call Michael Mann a grand master. He's a tremendous human being. He's absolutely the truth. Like Sam Jackson, like Denzel, Michael Mann's the truth as well. The interesting way that Michael and I kicked off a friendship was on Miami Vice, I was too young to play the lead, but Michael wanted me to do something. So I ended up in the pilot. Flash forward, Heat shows up. I go in, I audition, didn't get it. Forrest Gump comes out. I did not get a nomination for Best Supporting Actor, and Al Pacino was furious. I did not know Al Pacino.
Really?
So Pacino shows up with Michael and says, the kid got robbed. He got robbed. He said, what are you talking about? He said, the kid from Forrest Gump, he got robbed. He should have got... And so Michael and Al explained to me later, Al was livid. So Michael said, come on, Al, calm down. Al said, we got to put him in this movie. Michael said, where? He said, he can be my partner. They said, we hired a guy already. Al said, pay him off and I'll pay Mykelti. And so that's how I got Heat, was Al Pacino. Well, it's believable because it happened, but I mean, you know, I'm literal, so you got to forgive me. If I walk off stage and you say, man, that was unbelievable, I'm like, so you didn't believe anything I did?
No, I believe it. I meant as a
I understand. Yeah, I know what you mean. I have to shift.
So what's it like then working with Al Pacino? Did you know going onto set that this is how Al Pacino sort of lobbied to get you the role, or did they tell you this afterwards? Because
Well-
that's a lot of pressure when you're on set.
Well, I ain't no pressure. I ain't scared of nobody, man. But, I was going fishing one Saturday, and I get a call from my manager at the time who tells me, Mr. Pacino wants to meet you. I'm like, stop. I just picked up my bait. Of all things, it was shrimp, believe it or not. True story. So I picked up
You
some
hadn't left your role yet, had you?
ghost shrimp so I could deep sea fish. So I had to toss the bait out and go to Michael Mann's office and sit with Michael. Sure enough, 30 minutes later, here comes Al Pacino. And that's how we met. Al came in to see me on a Saturday and tell me he really wanted me to do this role, and they paid the other actor off, and then he and Michael split paying me, and that's how I got Heat. Yeah.
That's incredible. Not very believable.
And highly
also
credible.
Incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, credible too. Yeah.
So when you get on set and you're doing this though, and they tell you this, you don't feel like it's an extra amount of pressure or anything, or you just kind of.
No, listen. This year I'm 59 years old. This year, I've been in the entertainment business as a professional actor since I was 9. So this is my 50th year in the business, and this year, the Screen Actors Guild nominations we just got were the first time I felt that people were really paying attention to what I was doing, because I'm actually making adjustments so I can go do something else in life, because it seemed like nobody was paying attention to all the work I've been doing for 50 years, and it's like, you know what, I should probably be doing something else. So I'm actually in the process of making that shift, but the Screen Actors Guild nomination did get my attention. It let me know that somebody does care and does think I'm worthy of this journey.
Can I ask what that transition was or is?
Which transition?
You said you were after doing this for 50 years, you felt like you hadn't been recognized, so you were sort of transitioning into doing something else.
Yeah, I own other business, but I don't want to talk about that right now. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I actually own a spice company called the Bubba Style Spice Company. And you've heard of Cajun style, Southern style. Well, this is Bubba Style, man. So I'm thinking of elevating that brand and getting that out, because we launched it a few years ago, and it was extremely successful. So successful, in fact, I couldn't do both things. So I had to pull that one back because I had some obligations on this side of the fence. But I've got that and other things that I can do. I've got some really nice offers out there. So, I just want to be in a position where I can help somebody, because I thought I was helping people with this, but whatever it takes, man, for me to help people, because it's bigger than me. You know what I mean? It ain't about me.
It's wild that you didn't feel recognized. You look at post Forrest Gump. You had Heat, you had Con Air, you had Three Kings. Those are all massive movies of that decade, just movies that people love. And then you had The Fugitive with Tim Daly on CBS, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Just a lot of projects, but you still felt like you sort of weren't getting the recognition that you felt you deserved.
Well, this business is a people business. I love people, and then I'm trusting. So in this business, it's really funny. You give your heart and soul to elevate someone's material, because they say if it ain't on the page, it ain't coming on the stage. And a lot of times we jump in and fix things that need fixing, because film is collaborative art. You don't do it by yourself. So we chip in and we help, and you don't get credit, and you do that for years and years. And then finally, after a while, nobody says, hey, this guy's been really instrumental in my career. He's helped me do this. And I've heard nobody saying that until recently. Samuel Jackson, Michael Mann recently toasted me and said that I was the most underappreciated actor in Hollywood. And I didn't know other people felt that. I was just doing whatever I could do. So I was like, well, maybe, okay, well, these two guys get it. And then the Screen Actors Guild nominations came out, and I went, okay, all right. Well, I was planning on leaving, but I'll walk slower, and see if anything good happens. I mean, you never know. If people give you love, you can't leave, Yeah. But if they don't, then you're free to go. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You told me this story in the green room that honestly has nothing to do with what we're talking about right now, except for maybe the idea of helping people. But I feel like you have to share it, because I didn't know this story. I don't know if you've told it before. It's amazing, but you are the second unit director
Right.
for N.W.A. Straight Outta Compton music video in
Right.
like 88, 87.
Right, back in the 80s. The director is a gentleman by the name of Rupert Wainwright. This is another example of me not getting credit for work that I did. I got a call to bring my 16mm camera to Compton to shoot this group. Do you know who N.W.A. are? I'm like, yeah, of course. Boys in the Hood, always hard. Yeah, I know who they are. Okay, well, we're shooting a video. Can you be there tomorrow? Yeah. You got film? Yeah, I've got a couple of rolls of film. So I took my stuff down, took my cinematographer buddy with me as an assistant. And we get a sheet and we start shooting. But I look up and Easy and all his bodyguards, everybody's pulling out guns when cars drive by. I'm like, whoa, what's up? There was a hit on Eazy-E and nobody told me. So I got the job as second unit director to go out and shoot the stuff out on the streets with these guys. And Rupert was shooting shots that were in another part of town. To me, it was a safer part of town, but right. You know.
The part of town without...
The part of town where the warehouses are and no cars are driving by. So he was shooting shots around there. So that's my involvement. And then there was an actor who did not show up to play the cop, the black cop who harasses them because we were in a really rough neighborhood. So I stepped in the music video, and I'm the cop who's smashing Ice Cube's face and everybody's face on the hood of the police car. But so I did some acting, and I also used my 16mm gizmo camera to shoot stuff, second unit for those guys.
When you found out that there was a hit on Eazy-E, did you find out like while you were shooting, or was it afterwards they told you?
No, I found out while I was shooting, and then I realized why I got the job so fast, you know. It's like, oh, okay, all right, bro, no problem. But I wasn't afraid. I figured they knew to watch their backs so I could just get the shots that Rupert wanted done. And I knocked the shots off, put some of my own stuff in there, some ideas the guys had. And I've known Cube and all those guys, Yella and all the cats ever since, you know?
That's right. That's how this came up, was because I had complimented Three Kings, and you said
right.
that you knew Cube from all the way back when you did this.
Yeah, Cube is an amazing human being. He's an intelligent, creative businessman. He's smart. He's all courage, man. He's all courage, all truth. Just like you see his son play in the movie, that's how Cube is. He's right between the eyes. Yeah, I love him for that, too.
When you met up with him again on Three Kings, had he seen you since doing the N.W.A.?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he'd run across me every now and then, you know, and a big hug. What's up? Oh, man, it's good. What's up? You know, it's all good, man.
I just think it's so funny that you shot that video. So this past year, I think it was last year, 2015, right, when Straight Outta Compton came out, did you go see that film? What did you think about it? And how did
I
you
enjoyed
feel about
the
your
film, and I was very proud of those guys, and I'm really proud of America and the studios and the Hollywood system for acknowledging that journey, because that was an important time in America, you know, an extremely important time, as is this. There may be some filmmakers sitting here, some of you men and women right now, you're gonna be difference makers. So whatever you do, just keep in mind, do it from the heart. Don't do anything just for the money. Do it from the heart, man, and it will be everlasting. That's how you make your mark. You can either make your money or make your mark. If you make your mark, the money's gonna come anyway, all right?
You know, I have to ask you, talk about Hollywood sort of recognizing the Straight Outta Compton guys and sort of recognizing that history in music and entertainment. And I'm curious if you ever felt like when you weren't getting your recognition, or the recognition that you sort of felt like you had put into acting, that if it ever had to do with the fact that you were African American and that it's a little bit harder for African American actors to sort of rise to a level that like a supporting white actor can do sometimes. That
I don't think it's that. Everybody's doing the best they can. Everybody's trying to do what they can. And
I mean, I just think of Al Pacino saying about you playing Bubba and being like, he got robbed. I mean, that role in Forrest Gump is iconic, and everyone was quoting it, and your performance was heartbreaking and beautiful. Thinking back on it, it's incredible that you didn't win awards.
Well, you know, it is what it is, but at the time I was disappointed that nobody was paying attention, and then God used Al Pacino to show me that somebody cared. And just like now, it's like, I'm like, come on, man. You know, it's 20 years since Forrest Gump, and all right, I've done a bunch of good work, so The body of work is all there, so people can enjoy it later going forward, but I'm not gonna worry about it. You just have to be unafraid to move. If I can be more beneficial someplace else, man, I'm down, I'm out. I got it. I trust it, and I roll with it. And then you can't be afraid. I'm an artist. I ain't scared of nothing, because I know that I'm here to do something. But I know as a businessman, I've helped people too. So that's what I'm saying. Maybe it's that I'm supposed to be doing, and monetizing people's journeys and helping other artists. I don't know. I really don't know, man. But next year, I'm going to make a decision what it is. But I'll stick this out, this whole award season thing, and just keep doing what I do. And then we'll just see how it ends out. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. It's all good.
Let's take some questions from the audience. Who has right here?
Hi, it's great to see you. I saw a screening of Fences last Sunday at the Regal Cinema, and it was above all phenomenal, especially inspired me as an upcoming filmmaker. But I was really curious in the performer aspect of myself. How did you prepare for the role, either in the theater and in the movie adaptation? Was it a similar process for both? What were the challenges of that sort?
Well, everybody's got their process. Of course, I've got all the actor skills and all that training and all that stuff. But my personal process is this. Every character you see me play is the result of prayer. When I pray about it, meditate on it, let it go, and keep studying, it comes to me. It's given to me. And I just fulfill what I saw in that vision. And that's what you see here. That's what you see with Forrest Gump. That's what you see with the Purge, election year. All of that stuff comes to me because, first of all, the script is the star, and I try to step in and fulfill as a supporting actor what everybody else needs so they have something to react to. Here's how I approach the character. Traumatic brain injury, TBI. On a scale of 1 to 100, you can be injured different ways. 40, 14, 72% injured, you don't know. So what you saw was the result of what I thought worked with August Wilson's words and kept the other actors free enough so they could keep the pace and do what they needed to do. He could have been more injured, but I didn't think it was necessary. The main approach is respect, because everybody's somebody's child. Yeah, it's a character, but it's also a person. So when you're making your films going forward, keep in mind, don't let the word character cause you to forget that that's somebody's humanity. It's going to represent someone's humanity. So take it very seriously, and it'll come back to you in some amazing ways. All right? Got it.
Next question.
Hey, Mykelti. I actually got to see the film as well. I thought you and the rest of the cast were amazing. I was just wondering, was it easy for you to jump back into that same character from the play? Was it easy, or just maybe it took some time to get back into it?
It wasn't easy. It was a different kind of challenge, because in cinema it differs from stage. Stage, we make sure the person on the very back row is included, and there's a lot of technique involved, and projection and staging. But in cinema, it's much more intimate. You can have an intimate conversation between two people. In both applications, there's truth. You bring the truth with you no matter what you do. Truth and art and non-judgment always go together. There's no room for judgment in art, nor should there be in your heart. You understand? That's why art and heart rhyme, because art should come from your heart. That's what it is. It's part of your heart. That's why it means something to the artist, because it's an extension of their heart. So don't ever sacrifice what you really know you should be doing. But it was a love project, and it's different only because of the application of cinema. You got to trust it and know that people are going to come to you and be right in your face. And that's the difference. Size and truth. Right?
Next question right here.
Hi, how are you? So basically, I read Fences when I was in school,
Right.
and I really thought it was a really magnificent play. So what was one of your favorite parts to either film or when you read the screenplay or anything like that?
You know, I love the entire journey of Fences, and I'm glad you read it in school. In Los Angeles, the high schools, like across the nation, are actually studying August Wilson's works, like Fences. But I don't really have one favorite. I love every single moment. You know, from Troy, you ought to stop that line. I ain't lying, he had a watermelon this big, all the way to the very end. Well, that's the way that go, and out. So I love the entire journey. Everybody has an important part of that journey. To make that train run, there's 7 components. There's Denzel, Viola, Mykelti, Stephen, Russell, Jovan, Sanaya, Sydney. And at the head of the train is August Wilson.
I think we have time for one more question.
Oh, that's it?
I guess so.
Oh, man, that time flew.
I know, it really does. I want to thank you for being here. Your words have been very inspiring, not only to me, but I know a number of people in the audience today.
Right.
I could listen to you talk all day. I think more people need to hear what's coming from you, and thank you for continuing to stick in the business. It's very necessary.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
As the new year comes around, I know people sometimes want to make a different shift in their career, and because of the current sort of system, as you were talking about earlier, there's just sometimes a level that's not being looked at for whatever reason, and that person just can't make that change. For you, what advice would you give to whoever who might want to maybe change things up a little bit and take their talents elsewhere that it's appreciated?
Right. Well, the way to determine what it is you're supposed to be doing in your life, my mom actually taught me. Whatever you see going on in society or in life, and every single time you see it, if it gets under your skin and burns your onions, man, you're like, I can't stand, why do people treat people like that? That's what you're supposed to be doing something about. That's what your art is supposed to speak to. That's what your heart, your art, and your efforts are supposed to speak to. So if you paint, if you make clothing, if you make shoes, if you make music, whatever it is you do it for that reason, to help that way. That's really what it is. It's just that simple. And keep the faith, and remember this, you always become what you think about. Some actors are not great actors, but they're big stars because they thought about being a star more than they thought about being an amazing actor. Some actors are more amazing actors because they never thought about the star part, they thought about the craft. But you always become what you think about. So think about the fact that it's show business, and like Denzel will say, it should be business and show, because the business oftentimes comes in front of show. But it's show business. So, but you always become what you think about. That's the key to life right there.
Mykelti, I got to let you go, but Fences is in theaters nationwide Christmas Day, right?
Yes, sir.
It's in theaters in New York right now, and it's phenomenal. It's your duty to go see an August Wilson movie in theaters. Mykelti, thank you so much for being here. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.